First up, the USFL announces all 8 teams' coaching staffs. Lots of names here. So 8 teams are set to begin opening training camp tomorrow. Of course, this league kicks off on the 16th. Head coaches each will have 6 official coaching positions and 2 team assistants, many of whom will handle multiple responsibilities for each of the 45-player roster. USFL team staffs have strong backgrounds in coaching football in the fall and spring, from the NFL, NCAA, CFL to NFL Europe, the UFL to AAF. There is a wide variety. Notice they don't mention anything about the XFL. Experiences to help the USFL's 360 total players prepare for the upcoming inaugural season. Quotes just for football, blah, 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 from Moose Johnson. So here we go with some of the coaches. Of course, they talk about ticket sales, etc. So the Birmingham Stallions has Skip Holtz. Corey Chamberlain will be the DBs. Josh Chavis, Jonathan Himbach, he was in the XFL. Bill Johnson, defensive line. Mike Jones, wide receiver with some CFL background. And Larry Kurtzy, who was with the XFL and Spring League as well. So that takes that league. And you notice not as many coaches as a normal franchise either. Houston Gamblers, Kevin Sumlin, of course, the head coach. Tim Beattie is wide receivers. DB is Tim Lewis. He was with the AAF Birmingham and St. Louis Battlehawks. Greg McMahon will be your special teams tight end. Gordon Shaw, offensive line. Mark Snyder, linebackers. Darren Warden, DL, and Brendan Donovan and James Russell will be team assistants. Nolans Breakers of Larry Fedora. Nathan Burton will be, I don't know what that SEC is. Noel Mazzone as quarterbacks coach, worked with the NFL. Paul Spicer was the defensive line, was with Jacksonville and Tampa. Jonathan Tuna, CB Tenuta, a defensive coordinator, linebackers, Maryland, Virginia Tech, yeah, go Hokies. Jim Turner, offensive line. Patrick Washington will be your wide receivers coach, and Matt Butterfield and Greg Patrick will the team assistants. Tampa Bay Bandits, my team. Todd Haley, of course, is your head coach. You have him. Frank Ganitz Jr., Trey Jackson with the linebackers. Carnell Lake, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Pepper Johnson from the XFL days. Pat Peerless, Bob Saunders with the DC Defenders, and Stephen Thompson and Yale Van Dyne, wide receivers, running back. Jeff Fisher, of course, of the Michigan Panthers. Neil Callaway, offensive line. Darryl Carroll, defensive coordinator. Jeff Amura, DB and special teams. Eric Marty, offensive coordinator. Quan Drake, defensive line. And Tony Brown and Mark Stewart ran in team assistants. Something Fisher said in an interview that he tried to bring in other guys, but was getting knocked because they were getting NFL jobs. Mike Riley, New Jersey Generals head coach. Robert DeCaio, defensive line. Chris Dishman was with the XFL New York franchise. Jay Losi, tight end running backs coach. James Rogers, he's with the AAF San Antonio. Steve Smith, AFL Detroit, XFL Seattle, offensive coordinator and offensive line. Ken Watson, linebackers, was with the AAF San Antonio's. Zurich Rollins, Dominic Franks rounds out team assistants. Bart Andrews, Philadelphia Stars. He was with the UFL, CFL, all sorts of different stuff. Martin Bayless, cornerback, special teams. Marcel Bellefleur, wide receiver. He was in the UFL. Offensive line, Jeff Jadaginski. He was with the ELF and the XFL. Brandon McGuire, defensive line. Brad Miller, defensive coordinator, was at Edmonton, Montreal, Hamilton, Saskatchewan, a CFL guy. Glenn Smith, tight end, with Dallas, and then Brock Alvio and George Jackson. Team assistants, Pittsburgh Maulers. Kirby Wilson's team, Rick Courtwright, defensive line. Jaron Horton, defensive coordinator, and DB's coach, Mark Hall. Special teams and linebackers. Bill Kyatt, it would be tight ends, UFL guy, another UFL guy. Stephen Loney, offensive line and tight end as well. And John Tomlinson will be offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach with Will Johnson, Jack Nudo. That runs out your USFL coaching staff. Not huge staffs, trying to keep the numbers down. You've got guys with experience in the NFL, college football, CFL, XFL, AAF. So plenty of experience to go around. We'll see how things turn out as training camp opens tomorrow.